Welcome on a Wednesday. It's the Hollywood on the Rocks edition of the Film Threat podcast. I am Chris Gore. I am recovering from our awards weekend with Award This. I hope that you watched the premiere on Monday when we screened it on YouTube. It was a great party, and some of you came. Some of you actually came in person to this party, and we drank into the night. It was a blast. We're going to talk about that. A bunch of other stuff that we'll be discussing. Ms. Marvel, early reactions to the first episode, and Alan will be joining me to discuss that. And I have seen David Cronenberg's new film, Crimes of the Future, and should you see it? Where does it rank with David Cronenberg's other work? We're going to get started really quick here. I'm happy you're here with me on a Wednesday night. Remember, if we talk about movies on Hollywood on the Rocks, take a drink. Welcome back. Alan Ing is here to join me. What is going on, Alan?
No green screen. I'm wearing green to commemorate. There's no green screen behind me.
Well, let's see the whole shirt. Let's see the whole shirt since you brought it in here.
Make movies.
There you go. Cool.
That's one of ours. You can buy that at shop.filmthreat.com. Now,
are you pro the current thing or against the current thing?
I'm always for the current thing, unless it's not.
I don't know if you are, Alan. We've had conversations. I'm not exactly sure if you are, but I want to talk about before we get to the Ms. Marvel, before we get to the movies we're going to talk about, and we're going to be we'll talk a little bit about Top Gun Maverick. I know some people saw it on Top Gun Tuesday, and most of you will be seeing it over this Memorial Day weekend. But we had a little awards event this weekend.
Look at that.
And my biggest complaint about it is I looked fat. I did look. The camera adds 60 pounds to me, and whenever I see people in person, they'll come up to me and say, "Did you lose weight?" And it's like, no, you've seen me like on YouTube or a video or something. It's really hard. I'm gonna hire a cinematographer to do all my pictures for Instagram, but Alan, it was a fun event. What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways from this thing? And I hope you all had a chance to see it and we're in the live chat on Monday. It's getting more and more views, but it's a chance for you to discover a bunch of indie movies. Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I had a great time. It's like I'm starting to connect faces with people I've been emailing, and you know what? We're here for independent filmmakers, and everyone who won had really something touching to say about just what it's like to be an independent filmmaker, the struggles they go through. And I would highly encourage you. This is one of the times where you should watch the ceremony for the acceptance speeches.
True. And I have to thank the crew, not only yourself, all the writers of Film Threat, people who were there, Brittany Witherspoon, Sabina Del Place, Dante James was there.
Norm.
So many people were there. Lauren Kling was there. A lot of people from Film Threat were there, but also Bobby Schwartz of Dual Animal Studios, Anthony Ray Bench, who's not only a writer for Film Threat, he edited most of those video packages. Bobby put the whole thing together with our intro. I love that intro. The intro tells you, the intro where it's like the glamour of Hollywood, and then you see a piece of literal poop like on the street. Like, it's great. And John Bailey, of course, our epic voice announcer, was awesome. And we cannot forget Austin Smith, composer Austin Smith, who did all the music, did a fabulous job, because the music for the show really kind of sets the tone and makes it feel like, oh, wow, this is like a serious award show. This is serious. And so Austin really, from the very beginning in 2020, when we did our show in February, really made it work.
Mm-hmm.
But and what was cool was, and I don't know if he's in the chat yet. I haven't checked the chat yet. We have Flaccid Phoenix here with us, moderating, helping us produce, doing a great job. The film philosopher, who you'll see in the chat, he was there, and we hung out and went to the after party and drank, and I don't know, it was great. It was awesome. Who else did you get to meet some other people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Duran from God of Dreams. Got to talk to him a bit.
Duran. It's Duran, like Duran.
Yeah. Didn't I say Duran? It's
Yeah,
Duran.
close enough. There you go.
Yeah. You know, I mean, a guy who needed to make his movie, lost his funding, and decided I'm going to do it anyways. And you know, who knew that Alabama would become a hotbed for filmmaking? And you know,
Well, yeah, I mean, if you need inspiration to get started on your own indie film, watch this award show. Some of the best speeches. Barrick Hardley, who you've seen in this commercial with Sam Jackson, he's an actor, comedic actor, does a lot of stuff. He was in a commercial with Sam Jackson, which was great. I'll bet they weren't in the same room when they shot it, but he was there, and we just had like some great speeches. My friend Tommy Beckles, who's another comedic actor, who's on, I guess he's on an HBO Max show called The Minx, and I haven't seen it yet.
oh wow.
Yeah, so many great like little appearances by people, and then little comedic bits. It sort of shows you like what Film Threat is all about, which is about supporting indies. And what was the best comment I got in the chat during when we did the live premiere on Monday of the video, because we had to do some tweaking. There were a couple technical errors we wanted to fix, so it turned out great. But a lot of people were saying, I really want to see that movie. I really want to see, like, one of the ones, the short film ASMR for White Liberals.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, God, we should just, well, I mean, the list, actually, if you go to the Film Threat website, you can just Google award, you can look up award this, and you'll see the list of winners come up. And there are links to reviews of all those movies. So, yeah, pretty exciting time for everybody. And before we get started, and I encourage you to check it out. It's on the channel, and we even did like a little red carpet pre-show, which was basically just one of our cameramen from Spectrum Studios going around just filming for like an hour. When you got to see like James Duvall showed up, who I've known for years, an actor who's done some amazing, just look up James Duvall. But yeah, so we went around and had our little red carpet. I mean, it's a super indie, tiny thing. So it kind of gives you like, this is what happens at an award show, but this is the, like, if the Little Rascals put on an award show, it's kind of like what ours is.
That's pretty much true. Yeah.
So lower your expectations. I can say this, and this is what a lot of people told me. This is not a joke. A lot of people said this is better than the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really like, I can't 100% get on board with that. I will say it's shorter than the Oscars by about 50%. It's about half as long as the Oscars. So throw it on. It's fun. Discover some indie movies. And before we get started, support us and buy something. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. You can get the shirt that Alan is wearing in his, I'm going to assume now that you're not in a green screen. Is that your daughter's bedroom?
You know, it was. I think I mentioned it last time. Her room was the princess room, and it was all pink. That's the first thing I did when I moved into this house, was paint her room pink. And then, like girls do, they grow out of it. And she moved out of the room, and we turned it into the studio. And Alan, I think I was getting tired of the green screen as much as you were.
Right.
So so I bought some shelving, put it up, and then grabbed a tenth of the geeky stuff I owned and put it behind me.
Well, I don't normally ask for super chats, but if we could get a super chat to pay for the paint to repaint the pink room, I think Alan needs to do that.
I know. My wife would say no.
If you want to contact us for any reason, just go to filmthreat.com/contact. We'll answer your questions. A reminder, when you're watching Hollywood on the Rocks, take a shot when we talk about movies. That's pretty much all the time. And then, okay, you know, you always know to do this and support us and whatnot. But, okay, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Film Threat 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California 90036. Write that down, because I have a ton of envelopes. Someone sent me a really big envelope from all the way from Tennessee. I'm not going to show it to you, but this envelope is filled with, look, the bigger the envelope and the more postage you put on, I'll send you DVDs. I'll send you stuff laying around the office. We get a lot of stuff. So I've been sending these out, but I only check our PO box or our mailbox about every other week. So if it takes a little long, you know, it's fine. But send us a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'll send you free stuff. And if you want to buy stuff, you know where to get that. Now, Alan, you and I were fortunate enough to get the first 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
Now, before we actually talk about it, and we're only going to give our early reactions, It was an arduous process to watch this. Just to explain, and I'm not like I don't care. I prefer to go to movies with a real paying audience. And in fact, I'm doing that tonight, which is why I'm going to cut off the stream a little bit early today. Because I gotta get to the movie theater to see Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the director's cut.
Oh, that's tonight.
It's the last night it's playing.
Okay.
I gotta go see it. So we're probably gonna end it. We're gonna do a 90-minute show instead of a normal 2-hour show. So I hope that's okay. But to watch this show, Alan and I had to first, like, you get this app which is called the Disney Debut app, which you have to like sign up for, and then you get this authenticator. You have to authenticate that you are the one watching it, which is connected to your phone number, and they have a series of numbers that rotate every 30 seconds that you have to enter in. It's like hacking the Pentagon. And then for this, and this has never happened before, they made us DocuSign a thing that we would not like show it to anyone. We're the only person that watches it. If you're in view to like watch it alone. Did you read it all? I read it all.
Yeah, just to correct you a bit, they do it all the time on this particular app.
They really?
Everything I've seen, the Kingsman, any Disney stuff, I've had to sign that contract.
It's a weird thing where you're like, you can't watch it with anyone other than you. You can't share it. Like, okay, I get it. Fine. It's going to be out in a couple of weeks. No big deal. So what did your daughter think when you two watched it together?
She is way not on board with this TV show.
Wait, what? Okay.
I said, look, you at least have to watch the first episode. And by the end, it's like, do I really have to see the second episode? I go, it goes a little bit into her Muslim culture. Maybe. And she's like, no, I'm out. And she was done.
So your daughter's racist. That's terrible. I'm so disappointed. Well, but I would say your daughter is the target demographic for this show.
She is definitely. I'll give you my quick impression. It's a Disney Channel show.
That's exactly what I thought. It's a Disney
Channel
it is.
There's
show.
No doubt about it. It is for the Disney Channel set, and so if that does not appeal to you, you will not like the show. And and I will say this: it is probably one of the better Disney Channel shows, but that's not saying much. And it has all the story problems and all the character problems that a Disney Channel show has. And that's my feeling about this in a nutshell.
Well, let's get into our early reactions. I felt the same way you did. This is Disney Channel. This is not for kids in high school even. It's for younger kids.
That's the weird thing. That's the weird thing. It's set in high school, but I don't think a self-respecting high schooler would watch this show.
No, it's too, and they always say that, like, when it comes to children's programming, they always are watching whatever is sort of just ahead of them by a few years. So, if you're a younger kid, you're watching stuff that's just a little bit ahead. So this would be like children, single digit age, watching this for the most part. I'm not in that demographic. That doesn't mean I couldn't find something to enjoy in it. And I don't think I could. I mean, the one thing I will say this, you cannot blame the actors. They're just doing their job. I actually think the directors did a decent job of you're getting into Kamala Khan's head. And one of the ways they do that is she does like fan art, right? So she does this little fan art stuff. And the fan art is sort of throughout it, like she's driving kind of in her head. She sees on buildings. She'll see.
That was really good. That's probably the best part of the whole show.
That aspect of her fan art is sort of brought to life in her head, in her vision of how she sees the world. They spent more time on that than the special effects of her superpowers.
Yeah.
And it just, it was just really cheesy. Yeah. It was really, and I'm wondering, why did they sway so far from the comic?
I think it's money. It has to be money because
budget,
because for her to do, to have the embiggen power to, to kind of be the Mr. Fantastic, they don't have the budget to do it on one hand.
I guess, but it did seem like they put a lot into the high school world and her fan art. Like that was a big part of the show. And then when it came to her superpowers, and we've seen a little bit in the trailers, it's just this sort of light thing. And she has like a light hand that reaches out and light stuff. And that's fine, but the powers aren't really defined.
Yeah.
And then what did you think of her origin?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, as much as we hate the Inhumans, it was a better origin than this one. You know, in the comic book, she got the Terrigen Mist. She became an Inhuman, and now she's kind of a mutant, so to speak. In this one, she finds Bracelet, and that bracelet gives her powers. And it's like,
No,
you know,
not
that
just no. Wait, doesn't just find a bracelet. It comes in the mail from her grandma.
yeah. So it's
Her
a
nana.
family heirloom.
Right, which has some weird spiritual. There's something going on. I mean, it's unclear what the villain is, and I think that what's important is something that defines the hero is the villain, and there's no real clear villain in here. And she's just a typical kid, right? She is like, I want to go to Avengers Con. That's in the first episode. She wants to go to Avengers Con, and it's weird because it's not like any other convention. It seems like a cosplay contest with a bunch of displays of Avengers memorabilia and stuff, because I guess everyone in the Marvel universe now worships the Avengers. I would think that like after all the like chaos and whatnot, there might be a little bit of disdain, and she's a Captain Marvel super fan. She believes that Captain Marvel's the one that like, okay, the Avengers did okay, but then Captain Marvel came in and is the one who really kicked ass. So I don't know. That doesn't really work for me. But the one thing that did work about the show, and again, this isn't necessarily for me, is the Muslim family, her family. It's like what this is almost like, you know what this is? Take the superhero stuff out of it. It's a show for little kids about a Muslim family and their culture.
Yeah. That's, and you know what? They could have done that and made a really good show about that. You know, easily a 3-season pickup. And it's an interesting family, and I think there's enough dynamics going on there, especially for the age it's meant for, little teen girls, that you've got something there.
Yeah. Again, not for me, but like that was the part of that to me is almost the only part of the show that really worked, was the sort of glimpse into the culture and her family and the family dynamics and whatever. And it's just like it's okay, and it's just like, oh, this is kind of like cringe, but it's not, because it's for little kids. Basically, that's. But we've never seen that. We've never seen that. You know, there've been shows like Blackish and whatnot, and it's like, all right, fine, cool. But like, we've never seen this for a Muslim family. I thought like that aspect. So it's almost like a backdoor. Like, we want to do a show about a Muslim family, but to make you watch it, it's about a young girl who's a superhero in that family.
Yeah.
And she has to hide that. But I was talking earlier today. I was on the Nerdrotic Nooner, the Nooner, with Gary Beekler, and we were talking about, and you probably, almost no one in the audience is going to remember this but me. And we'll get to your chat as soon as Alan and I wrap this up in about 10 minutes, but like, or less, hopefully less.
Yeah, I've got a few things too. I got 2 things to say about it.
Okay, good. Okay, I watched this show when I was a kid, Shazam, with Billy Batson.
I watched it too, and
an old man, Isis. Right? And Mighty Isis. It was like the Saturday morning super, whatever. I think it was on CBS. So Shazam was like part of that, you know. And Billy Batson was this teen kid. He would just say Shazam. Of course, he turns into Captain Marvel, right? And they travel around in a van with an old guy. I even forget how that happened. And most of the problems they solve are like, someone's on a cliff. I'll get them. I need to help someone. Fix a tire. That's kind of the feats of superheroism. She's like there's a couple things that happen, and it's all people about to fall, and she saves them from falling. And it's very sort of Disney Channel like situations. She's not going up against a foe. It's not particularly deep. The stuff that works is her family, and at least the directing of the sort of getting in her head, like that really works. But then it's like the superhero stuff. I don't know how she's going to fit into the Marvels. Honestly, it's like, I feel like they made a huge mistake with the changing her powers. I think that was a mistake. I think it would have been a really cool thing to do with the big hands. I know it's a little too Reed Richards, but so what? There could be multiple people with, look, there's a lot of people in the Marvel universe who can fly. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of them have super strength. You know.
Exactly. But Alan, I'm really mixed on it, and mixed to meh. And I probably won't continue watching it because it's just, That's my reaction. And what's weird is, of course, it's not even like it's just every Marvel thing that comes out.
Yeah.
You go on social media and it's all positive. Then it comes out and other people have other opinions. And I'll just say,
yeah. I
what's
mean, let me
that?
tell you why the show stinks.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Can before you say that, can I just say,
Yeah.
you were defending Doctor Strange 2 just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're a Disney super fan and you don't like this. And your daughter wouldn't, after the first episode,
Yeah.
she just pieced out.
Well, you know, this is the trend. There's several trends coming out of Disney in terms of storytelling. And to me, what makes this show not work is the storytelling. All the elements are there. Everything you need to tell a really good story are there, and they're blowing it big time. And you get the sense that this is a comic book show, but none of the writers have ever read a comic book. And in this sense, when you read a comic book, you open the page, you're grabbed by the opening cover. In the middle, all this action happens, and at the very end, something happens that forces you to wait a month and then buy the next episode. That's how TV shows work. You know, they work exactly the same way, and they're not doing it here. You don't get any real sense of Ms. Marvel's powers until the end of the first episode. It's just her, the setup of her in high school. She's the brown girl who gets marginalized by her class and, you know, loves, you know, there's nothing in that first episode. All that first episode does is introduce Kamala Khan, and we're supposed to, that should be reason enough to like this show. Right. And then the second episode, I liked it because it you know, explained a lot about Muslim culture that I didn't understand or didn't know. But then it becomes about, oh, well, I have this new power now. How does it work? There's not even really a moment where there's a brief montage where it's like, okay, how do I use my powers? But you know, it just really falls flat. And there's a good cliffhanger because they kind of build up the origin of the bracelet. But you know, by then it's like, what am I watching? Where am I going? You mentioned there's no villain. Again, without a villain, without someone sinister lurking in the background, where is this show headed? Where am I going? Why do I care to move on to the next one? And I feel like this has happened with Moon Knight. This has happened with you know, I think to some degree Hawkeye, where there's just nothing that really it compels me to go from episode to episode to episode. And I'll say this about her powers. You know, she puts on this bracelet that she got from her grandmother, and it gives her these powers. I don't understand what the powers, you know, this power that she has to create light and make her hand big and create these light objects that she can stand on. You know, I assume there's some Muslim background to it or something, or there isn't. And I don't understand, you know, what is it about this power that makes it, you know, that says something about her and her culture. And I'm just frustrated by it because they're missing a great opportunity here. This show should be much better than it is.
Yeah, well, it should be at least skew a little older, or at least have some.
Or a compelling story. A compelling story.
I didn't get a sense of who she was, and one of the things I think it's sort of like Green Lantern's origin. He gets the ring. He's the Green Lantern, and just to, you know, go to some other Marvel heroes, Steve Rogers was Captain America before he even got, you know, the super soldier serum. He had the heart of a hero. He's the one that jumped on the grenade to save everyone else, and an act of self-sacrifice, which is self-sacrifice is what heroes do, right? And I felt like he was already Captain America. The fact that he picked up the garbage can when the bully was going after him and said, I could do this all day. Like he was a hero.
And guess what? You know what other superhero was her age? Peter Parker.
Right. So, and why is Peter Parker so much more interesting? It's just that she was missing some deeper layers. Her biggest conflict was that she wanted to go to Avengers Con and her parents wouldn't let her.
Yeah.
And then she's you know, her all the complaints about, well, I'm just a brown girl in Jersey. Okay. And
there's a lot of those.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that. And I just thought that after a while it got a little
and the need for a villain. I mean, there's no sense of really some danger, something ominous happening yet. And we just saw the first 2 episodes. You know, there's nothing. Yeah, where are we going? I said it before. I'm saying it again. Where are we going?
Yeah, I don't know how well this is going to go over, and I'm curious how she may evolve, or if they change it for when she, I guess her character is going to be in the Marvels, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is basically just going to be the female Avengers, right? Like, isn't
Yeah.
that what it's supposed to be?
Right. And quite frankly, you know, I don't like to get on the hate bandwagon, but I can't envision anything good coming out of that story.
Well, the fact that they're not making Captain Marvel 2, I think, is sort of, I don't know. It just seems like if they were going to make the Marvels as a movie and it was on Disney Plus, maybe that works. But
yeah,
I don't know. It just, I want to be brought into the story. And yeah. I feel like the only thing that really worked for me was the sort of directing style with using her fan art that she created. I thought that was very it was creative. Also, the camera moved around a lot in very interesting ways.
Yeah.
The weakest.
No, I mean, it's a really good looking show. I would say it's one of the best Disney Channel shows I've seen.
But wait,
which isn't saying a whole lot.
Right, but wait.
And then, but I'll also say this: I think Ms. Marvel should have been a movie, and I think Shang-Chi should have been a TV series.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But I just think the weakest part of it was the writing. I think the writing was so weak. It was so like, just.
Yeah, it's teenage talk. It's teenage talk throughout the whole thing.
It's teenage talk, which is fine, but yeah. What can you say? All right, let's go to our comments here. Since Alan and we've said enough.
We've dumped enough on it.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, and there's some super chats here again. All right, Flaccid Phoenix says she would be more sympathetic if her parents prevented her from going to award this. Yeah. Exactly. Then I would really feel bad for her. And slap that like button. Slap that like.
Thanks, Dirty Onion.
Yeah, thank you, Dirty Onion, for that. Slap that like button, just like Alan. Yeah, slap that like button like Alan slaps his boobs. Okay, so Tumbleweed. Stargirl is also a high school TV show, and they have a villain. It's a high school drama with superhero problems. Okay.
Yeah. Stargirl is surprisingly good.
Okay,
I haven't seen the new one yet, but I will. But I was surprised how much I like Stargirl.
All right, there you go. Matthew A. Kobo says, it's interesting that Marvel has been introducing their younger characters, America Chavez, Kate Bishop, with older heroes, but they didn't do it with Kamala. Yeah, that's interesting.
The comic book did.
It doesn't
Captain Marvel is in the comic books.
Right. But it doesn't mean that there may not be a cameo in the series. We're only 2 episodes in. So there you go. Zax says, my wife yelled from across the house, why is Thor a girl now? Pretty funny. Yeah, why can't they just make a different character? Jane Foster is Thorina. Thorina I would buy, but it doesn't make sense. Buford T. Justice for $10. Thank you for your super chat, Buford. Oh no, Marvel sucks again. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
they need comic book writers to be doing these things.
I agree, but old school comic writers.
Yeah.
Jamie Ruiz says, guess I'm a racist for not watching it. Well, no, you just a person that sort of checked out. I do think you nailed it, because I think, did you text me or something and you said this is like a Disney Channel show?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I think you could honestly say it's not for me.
All right.
And it's not.
Let me just say, Bethel Games knows what's up. Alan's daughter has better taste than Alan.
She doesn't.
Fact check true. Joshua Levesque says, ugh, not looking forward to watching it. And then Adam Iglesias says, good luck, Charlie. Masterpiece, Alan.
Yes, we are big fans of Good Luck, Charlie.
Rick C. RLC says, activism entertainment brings you Ms. Meh. And hey, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Chris sent me some cool stuff, bunch of Blu-rays, glasses, and stuff. Yes, I do like to gift packages to folks of, free stuff. I like free stuff. Toxic Waltz NA. Hey, back in the day, pink was a boy color and blue was for girls. It is well known that it flipped. It's well known that it flipped. Really? Did they flip bicycles? Because when I was a kid, okay, I know I'm not the only one that had this experience. I had a bike. And why did the boys' bike have that bar and the girls' bike didn't have the bar? I can't tell you how many times, and you guys, you know what I'm talking about. When you rode your bike as a kid and the boys' bike had that bar, and then you would fall on the bar, and you know what happened. It wasn't pretty. It was very painful. I feel like they mixed up the bikes. Midnight's Edge After Dark for $2. Thank you for that. I talked to the Umbrella Man. Paint the room.
Yeah, paint the room. Definitely paint the room.
You got to paint the room, Alan. There's $2 for paint.
I know. Okay, we're almost there.
Son of the Red Fox says, Award This Live was a rather enjoyable experience. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but it was a reminder that it's a good thing to not take yourself so seriously. That's true. Like, the whole thing with the award shows, look, we're not taking this seriously. The purpose of the show is to present to you a bunch of options other than Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, Pixar, what's in the theater, what is the current thing, right? Like, that's been our whole purpose from, for Film Threat from the beginning is, hey, we want to like give you options of other movies that are out there. So watch Award This, because I even get a little like tired of myself, like, like Star Wars Celebration is this weekend and I'm not looking forward to going because there's just nothing about it that like appeals to me. And I have an extra badge. An extra 4-day badge. DM me on Twitter at that Chris Gore. I could meet you down in Anaheim if you want to buy my 4-day badge. I'll sell it to you for face value. Not looking to make a profit for it. I just, I could use the gas money. What can you say? But if you're interested in my badge for Star Wars Celebration, they put a lot of that stuff on YouTube. I'm going to hang out at the hotel bar. I'll be there Friday night. So there you go. Nikki D, $5 for a super sticker. Thank you for that. We have to set up our YouTube channel a little more aggressively, because you can make like custom stickers and this.
Yeah.
And memberships. We'll get to it. Matthew A. Kobo says, hey guys, love Alan's background today. I don't know. You might be banned from the show for saying that, Matthew. I'm really sorry. No, I appreciate it. $1.99 from Deranged Lunatic, aka DL. Chris, thanks for recommending the Just Watch app. That's a great app. Just Watch. Go on it. Look up any movie. Tells you where to find it. A lot of places you can get it for free or cheaper. You might already be subscribed to a streaming service that the movie you're trying to watch is on already. So just look up Just Watch. So, and Rick C. RLC says, off camera, Chris is a Hemsworth. I'm going to tell you that's pretty much not true. But, but thank you for that. Shucksy says, I always look fat, mostly because I am fat. Well, yeah, I've got that like doughy layer that I've just got that doughy layer. What can I say? It's been a long 2 years. A lot of snacks. Jack D. Ripper says, Award This was great, guys. Well done. Well, here's what's cool. We're going to expand it next year. We want to try to get in a bigger room, but you can buy tickets for it. The film philosopher, who I don't want to out him where he lives, but he lives nearby to Santa Ana. He just bought a ticket and showed up, and we hung out. It was great. Alan's plushie collection is impressive, says Goober.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite right there. That Fozzie Bear was a lot to get.
Dude, Alan, I feel like I have to send you home with some better stuff. Next time we get together in person, I'm just going to give you a box of stuff.
Yeah, look what Gonzo's holding. It's a
there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, if you send us a self-addressed stamped envelope, we'll send you a sticker. Free. Zax, do they explain why she knows who Captain Marvel is? I'm trying to remember.
It's the end. It's Endgame basically.
It's because of Endgame. She knows Captain Marvel. But how does anyone know? Did they film the events in Endgame? Like, how does
they must have had something?
Huh?
But she mentions how she's the most powerful of the Avengers. How she was able to knock down Thanos with a punch. How she blew up a whole alien spaceship.
Right. She basically is like, Captain Marvel did the heavy lifting. The Avengers, F them. That's kind of how it's played off. It's actually I really did not like that.
Then she calls them the Magic Stones. I'm like, if she's that big a fan of Captain Marvel, she has to know they're called the Infinity Stones.
Right, but does she know? I only watched each episode once. Does she know who Carol Danvers is? Also, does it matter?
Yeah.
Secret identities in the Marvel universe is not as big of a thing.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know who Carol Danvers is.
Well, Zax, guess what? You'll have to watch it to find out because I think I'm pieced out on that. So, the film philosopher, hey, good to see you. The film philosopher, just so you know, has a very, very amazing hat. An amazing hat. And he said, film philosopher says, I'll tell you where it's headed, where all Disney Plus films head, to you keeping your subscription despite its content's lack of content. Yeah, I'd say that's true. Your future ex says, if she's Muslim, shouldn't she be following her religion and using her powers to rid the planet of her enemies? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Well, that's the other thing is, if she's Muslim, I don't understand how these powers relate to her Muslim heritage.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
James Ruiz says, the villain, it's probably grief. Just ask Wanda about it. Oh, man. Phil Bluster, how much are those badges? $20? Actually, this Star Wars Celebration badge was $200.
Whoa.
Who wants it? Who wants it? I have an extra. Rave Girl is back for $4.99. Thank you for your super chat. Hi, Chris and Alan. With the failing Marvel shows, is Disney turning a blind eye, hoping the problem will fix itself? This isn't sustainable. Alan, thoughts?
You know, I mean, here's the biggest problem is that they make the entire series at one time. And so, you know, with old TV shows, you'd go in a couple episodes, you can make corrections along the way. They can't do that here. And again, I don't think these writers understand what it means to go from episode to episode to episode, and the things you have to do to capture an audience's attention in that first episode and force them to watch the subsequent episodes. Paulie from Latina Slant, he talked a lot about the Lincoln Lawyer. I got hooked within literally the first 10 minutes of that show, and I binged it all weekend because of how well this show is put together as a television series from episode to episode. And Disney doesn't know how to do that. And they're missing opportunities. They're missing an opportunity, and that's the most frustrating thing here, because it could be better.
It's weird. It's not about like her age or being to identify with her character. It doesn't grab you. Like, to me, like Breaking Bad might have the best first episode of a TV series ever. Walter White. We get to know Walter White, this man who has been emasculated. He's in he's terrible, an after school job at a freaking car wash, which is humiliating. And, he's got this son who has a disability, and, it's a great first episode of a show that, of course, ended up, that's one of those runs that, like, the ending didn't disappoint. It's one of the very few shows that has done that. So I don't see why. I really just think it has to do with inexperienced writers.
Absolutely.
And micromanagement, because it's a Disney property. There are certain do's and don'ts for Disney, right? Like, you'll never see a character that smokes. What's going to happen when they introduce Ben Grimm into the Marvel Universe? Will he have a cigar? I'm not sure. But
I think the problem with Moon Knight is they injected this theme of mental health into it, and it threw the story off. It threw Moon Knight's story off. Also, my daughter is into anime, and she by far enjoys that more nuanced storytelling, that more adult storytelling than what Disney's putting out. But what Marvel is.
We're going to get to more of your comments, but quick reminder, there are over 200 people watching right now. Slap that like button, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? Look, the people who worked on Ms. Marvel have nothing to be embarrassed about, because
finish him. Oh, my jeans.
I've done some embarrassing things myself. It just happens. Let's continue with the chat. Is on fire today, and I want to thank you for all your comments. It's always great I look forward to sitting here and chatting with you on a Wednesday night. Marty for $5 Super chat. New Lewis and Clark TV show has superhero issues and teenager issues. Can still watch it as an adult and enjoy it. Well, like there are just certain things that are relatable, that are universal. And I got to give Ms. Marvel a little credit that it tries. And actually, the Muslim aspect of the show is probably the part that works the best.
Mm-hmm.
But the superhero part is the part that is the weakest.
Yeah.
And then also just having some character traits that make you like Kamala Khan right at the beginning. I mean, there's like this typical thing. She's walking through the hall, which is like that's a trope from anything high school, right? Someone gets her name wrong. She's humiliated. These girls like kind of are mean to her because they won't move out of the way so she can get to her locker. It's like, we've seen this in a million high school things. How is it different? Well, it's different because, and also it's almost like she acts like she's exclusively being bullied for who she is. I got bullied because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
one.
yeah.
I'm not going to say I was. I am also still Polish, and growing up outside of Detroit, if you were Polish, there were Polish jokes. That was a thing because there were a lot of Polish immigrants that came over.
Yeah, and she goes to a diverse high school, which means everyone's getting bullied because everyone's different.
I just feel like can we just accept people as people and not have it be about all of that? It's distracting. The bad bandito, Robert Lewis, she should have just had a stupid power and be forced to get creative, have them earn their stripes.
Yeah. You know, that's the greatest American hero, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Redman, Green Lantern's ring doesn't just go to anyone, though. These bracelets can be used by anyone. Yeah, you know what? I did forget about that. Yes, the ring goes to someone who deserves it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're Star Brand. Does anyone remember Star Brand?
I don't think I have her up there.
No one remembers it. So in the 80s, Jim Shooter wanted to start a new line. It was like called the New Universe, and it was a completely new universe, separate from the Marvel universe, totally separate line of comics with stories and whatnot. And in the new universe, they had a character called Star Brand, pretty much the same origin of Green Lantern, except instead of a ring, it's like a brand, like a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's passed on from this older man that gives this guy superpowers. And I might still have some copies of that. Does anyone else remember Star Brand?
Yeah, when I was looking at
universe?
comic books to put up there, I ran into my New Universe comic. So DP7.
Oh my God.
DP7, I have a couple of issues of that. I will say this, at least with Shang-Chi, his weapons, the rings, had cultural significance behind it. And it was integrated into his Chinese background as well. I mean, I just don't get that sense here. And I'm just wondering, why did they choose these certain powers?
I don't know. And what the other thing is, what was weird about the show is she's not even called Ms. Marvel. They call her like after there's a video that goes viral from like her, she saves somebody. I don't want to go into details. I'm trying to keep it vague. She saves someone, a video of it. She has a mask on. It goes viral and they call her Nightlight. Her name is Nightlight. And they just keep calling her that.
I like that. That's actually pretty good.
Nightlight?
Well, just the fact that the stupid way heroes get their names. That's the joke behind that.
Bethel Games says Ms. Marvel's obstacle or great enemy is her child marriage to her cousin or uncle. Okay, I will shove me out now. That's you might be onto something. You might be onto something. Tumbleweed, America Chavez or Kamala, who was written better? Alan?
Kamala. We got 10 seconds of America's backstory. And at least here we got a little bit more than that.
Boy, the chat's on fire. I gotta go all the way back to the bottom. Please, I appreciate your patience here. For me, I don't know. I think they're kind of equally bad from the standpoint of they're kind of Disney Channel, not Disney Plus, Disney Channel. And it just felt like it's for kids.
I will say, Midnight's Edge, they have a good video on, the problems, the rewrites of Doctor Strange. And I think it sheds a lot of light on what went on back there.
I'll have to see
especially with America.
The Film Philosopher. Oh, I thought you were saying Star Brand like cereal. Ha ha! Film Philosopher is quick with the quips. David Glenn, I have all those New Universe comics. Good, someone other than me. The New Universe was cool.
I have them.
I was down with it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's like, it's not part of Marvel. It's not all that continuity. It's a whole new continuity, a whole new universe. And I loved it. And
but they brought Starbrand into the Marvel universe.
Did they really? I don't remember.
I believe they did. They made him an overpowered hero that, you know.
I've popped in and out. Like, there are times where it's just like I was aware of everything and then I popped out, and I haven't really been reading stuff other than collected graphic novels and whatnot for a long time. Zach says, make bullying great again. Dirty Onion, bring back the beard, Chris Gore. Oh, that's right. Alan and I, if we do beards, let's just do it together.
I know, we should do that.
We'll do it.
I'm up for it.
Patrick Lemire, Alan, go to the Museum of Moving Image. The Jim Henson exhibit is insane.
Yes, I went to the traveling one, the one that was at the Skirball Center, and
didn't you write an article?
Great exhibit. I love that exhibit.
Didn't you write an article on Film Threat?
Yes, in fact, we do have that article up.
Yeah,
I even made some videos.
There you go. Justice Shepard says, her powers don't relate to her religion because it's simply certain to check a box.
Yeah,
there you go. Hassani Parker for 20 sec says, my 3 comic is on Kickstarter. Can you give me love? What's the URL? What's the URL for your Kickstarter? What's the name of your Kickstarter?
Or do we look up your name?
Put it in the chat, and we'll plug it. We'll plug your Kickstarter. There you go. And I think I cannot read that, but thank you. I think all of the streaming services are becoming conservative than the past. More, even Netflix, I think it is not doing great as it used to be. Yeah, I think there's going to be a pivot, but it takes a long time. It takes a long time to pivot. It's like a battleship just making a 180. I don't think you're going to see a change from the way things are currently for a while. Abigor says, Chris will have to pay me $200 to take that badge. Good luck for gas money, though. The gasoline. And Austin Smith, composer, the Marvel shows make me nervous for what's going to happen to Daredevil's reboot. The Daredevil reboot is going to be worthless. I'll be surprised if they put those Daredevil shows that were originally on Netflix, if they make it on Disney Plus.
But they are on Disney Plus.
Wait, they are?
Yeah, all of them.
Edited?
All of them. Every single one of them. Yeah, Jessica Jones is on there.
Is it edited?
I think there's some minor title things that was a big controversy a couple weeks ago, but it's all there. It's all there.
Toxic Waltz N8. Anyone else watch that George Carlin HBO doc they released last weekend? It was great. He's one of my heroes. I haven't watched it yet. I'm dying to. I did see Ricky Gervais's special, and that was awesome. The Ricky Gervais special just came out Tuesday, I believe, and I watched it. It's fantastic.
I saw it yesterday.
Yeah. Jose Contreras. Is it the Ultimate Universe? No, it's called the New Universe. New Universe. It was released in the 80s, and it lasted, I think, just over a year.
Yeah.
It didn't last very long, about a year or so, year and change. They tried to wrap up the stories like, this isn't working. It's not taking off.
Yeah, but it was their attempt to tell new stories in a new universe. And there you go.
Yeah. Justin stole I have no faith in the new Daredevil. He was speaking to Blockbuster Guy. Jeff Brooks is back. Chris, how dare you not read the symbol's name? I do my best. RMFX is back. I hate there's nothing film related up in San Francisco other than that Disney Family Museum. Deranged Lunatic, aka DL. Chris, do you think Disney will ever learn their lesson as far as Marvel and Star Wars goes? No, I don't think they will. And I don't think you'll ever get any sort of like, we really screwed up when we made those Star Wars sequels and we didn't reunite Han, Luke, and Leia. Oopsie. I mean, they're reuniting Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, like, what are they going to think seeing each other after like everything that happened? And it's like a decade later, he's encased in this, he's a you know, half man, half cyborg thing. And he's a badass, but like, I don't know. I don't know. Are they going to learn their lesson? I don't think so. Patrick Lemire, streaming services are going to implode from what they spend on production cannot be recouped in subscription fees. I think there's going to be different. I think you're going to see Netflix get commercials. They've already discussed it. So, and I'm getting to all these. So please be.
Well, I think Netflix had money before the pandemic and they put a lot of money to make a lot of crap. And there you go.
Abigor says Alan's broadcast room identifies as a man cave.
Yes.
Akanika, hey, good to see you. Fozzie Bear and Gonzo holding film threat swag. There you go. I love it. Turo, am I banned here too? Where would you be banned, Turo? You're never banned. You're not. Why would you be banned? You're not. Rave Girl for $1.99. OMG, Alan. Fozzie Bear is so jealous right now. Thank you, Rave Girl.
Yes, you can't get that Fozzie Bear anymore.
Really?
I found it at Walt Disney World when they opened the Muppet Vision 3D the first time, and that was it. I bought that. I saw it, bought it, never found it again.
I've only have one plushie, and I'll have to find it. I actually have one plushie. I'm not in a place where I can actually go and get it right now. I have a plushie of Khan from Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. They actually made a plushie, and I'm like, awesome. Okay, I own 0 plushies. That is the only one I want. So there you go.
Yeah. I had to carry that on the airplane with me.
And the film philosopher dropping truth bombs. The Disney shows are written by AI. Let's be real. You know what's so funny? It feels like it. Dad says this. Mom says this. You can't do this. Young teenage girl says this. Like literally AI. They may as well just.
There's just not a lot of nuance in the dialogue, and that's the frustrating thing.
Or
about
subtext.
Out of Disney.
There's no subtext. That's what's missing. Patrick Lemire, they should try anthology episodes so you can just watch them in any order, like The Twilight Zone. They could have done an hour show kind of just introducing Ms. Marvel and just have stories from around the Marvel universe. Someone who's a super fan, that would be interesting to do.
With a storyline looming in the background that gets resolved at the end of the season.
And this is actually a comic book. What's the name of the comic? Somebody tell me, because I'm forgetting the name. It's the comic, and it was based on the people that do the cleanup after like a superhero fights a villain and destroys like part of a city. They have to have this crew come in and kind of like clean it up.
Yeah, I don't know the name. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
We got to wrap this up quick because I want to get to the David Cronenberg movie.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Let me do this. I'm going to start from the top here. JC, with economy headed towards bear market possible, things don't bode well for Disney. They will start penny pinching and upping price on everything without any creativity or quality. Yeah, the one thing you can count on is prices will be raised, but will quality be something they focus on? Are they going to take a look?
The comment is written as if it's going to happen in the future and not that it's happening now.
It's possible that there are meetings, people are scrambling. We'll see. The film philosopher, Disney is making the Netflix mistake, thinking that if they churn out content, people will keep watching it regardless of its entertainment value. True.
And they've already got stuff in the cans, so it's not like that they can reverse course.
Well, yeah, a lot of the stuff just existed before and was in the, it was on a whiteboard somewhere in a room, and like, okay, now we're greenlighting this. Jeff Brooks, why do they film the shows in an anamorphic widescreen style? It's a TV show. I ain't watching this in a movie theater. I think it's because of the TVs people have now. I mean, you can get a 4K TV at Costco for $300.
Yeah, that's what I did.
So I think it's really because of that. Justin Stoll, Disney has never made anything as interesting as Daredevil and Punisher argue over their philosophies. Disney will have him cracking jokes. I do think you could go a little lighter with Daredevil, but he works as a dark character for me.
Well, that was the appeal of the TV series. It was dark, and I think to lighten it up just kind of betrays what it originally was. Disney was still technically behind the Daredevil series.
Right. So. Well, Zach says we need Nicolas Cage plushies. You know what? There are no Nicolas Cage plushies, but you know what I do have? Oh, I can't find it now. I have Nicolas Cage color forms. Oh, David Glenn, Damage Control. That was the name of that comic.
Oh, there you go.
That would be really interesting. The Sound of One Man Laughing is back. I like the film threat review of The Reluctant Dragon. I love Robert Benchley and was happy to see that for the first time.
And there's a lot of cancelable stuff in that.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he calls this Asian guy a coolie at one point.
Well, speaking of that, so the movie that won award this, I don't want to ruin it, but it's a comedy that has a whole thing where there are purple dildos on hats that are in the movie, and the director of that movie chose to wear the hat to our thing. and we got like this thing where they did this sort of AI review of award this, and we weren't able to get like, it was like limited advertising. Someone did a manual review and we got fully monetized for award this. So please watch it. And Flaccid Phoenix says over 200 watching. Make sure to slap that like button.
Please.
Thank you, Flaccid Phoenix. Well, let's change it up. So
All right.
Ms. Marvel, your mileage may vary. Up to you.
It's a Disney Channel show.
Yeah.
Take
and
that for what it's worth.
I'm not the Disney Channel viewer. So let's change it up here. Let's change it up. And let's get to Crimes of the Future. Get to there's a graphic. I know I have it somewhere here.
No, yeah.
That what's gonna be all right. It's just
gonna be obscured.
It's gonna be weird. What's gonna be the least distracting? Let's just go with that. It's we gotta get the Ms. Marvel thing off there. If you have not seen the Red Band trailer for Crimes of the Future, David Cronenberg's new film, I strongly recommend it. It is David Lynch. What am I saying? David Cronenberg. David Cronenberg unhinged. This is David Cronenberg using themes that we have seen in other David Cronenberg movies, but now it's like turned up to 11. So Cronenberg, if you're a fan, you probably know The Fly with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. You probably also know Videodrome. You might know Scanners. You might know some of his other more recent work, which is not as broad appeal. I will say this right out of the gate. This movie is not going to appeal to a wide audience. It opens on Thursday night, and opens this weekend in limited release. It is about Viggo Mortensen's character has an additional organ he has grown in himself. And he has the ability to kind of like, he has this organ that continues to kind of recreate. And we don't know what the organ is for. So it's sort of like about the evolution of humanity. Like, hey, we have a new organ. We're not even exactly sure. I mean, they're still not sure exactly what the appendix does. There are theories, but not 100%. It may even be like a leftover organ from thousands of years ago, right? But Viggo has the ability he has this other organ, and they put on sort of, does anyone know what Grand Guignol is? The Grand Guignol was like think vaudeville, but with horror. So it's like a horror version of vaudeville with fake autopsies and scares and grotesque things to make you like recoil. And this was something that was a popular show. This was a live show in like the 1800s and early 1900s called the Grand Guignol. And it was like almost like a form of performance art, right? And that's kind of what's happening here is that Viggo Mortensen, they have these machines that will actually perform surgery on a person. And like you see these kind of live surgeries. And Kristen Stewart is in the movie, and she's kind of they have this like, it's just bizarre. Like, okay, I thought Men was over the top. This is more intense than Men. So what Viggo, he becomes like a star, like an artist in the world of performance surgery. Okay. Where he is the person being operated on. And it's also about the evolution of humanity. And I'm going to only tell you about the first, maybe third of the film, because I don't want to get into spoiler territory here. But one of the things that opens the film with, I mean, Viggo Mortensen's the main character, but it opens with a little boy who's eating plastic because he has the ability to secrete acid that breaks down plastic so that he can consume and eat plastic to live. This little boy. And it's about like, well, could humans evolve to a point where because food is no longer plentiful that we will consume plastic? I mean, technically speaking, we're actually already consuming plastic if you eat fish, you're probably, because the fish eat so much plastic in the ocean, you're probably getting a little bit of it in your diet. True. Look it up. Some scientists said that. But so this evolves where he becomes like a superstar. Like when people see him, he's like, oh my God, I loved your show. It was so great. He has women fawning on him. Like, and I'm trying to remember, was it Kristen Stewart who said this? Like, surgery is the new sex, because they're so taken with it, and everyone's acting so strange. It's in a sort of, I don't want to say a dystopian future, but it's in the future, and it's a future where just like people don't act like normal people like they would in the real world. They're turned on sexually by seeing live surgery. This is so on point for David Cronenberg, because nearly all of his films are about body horror, right? The Fly probably being the most accessible of, that uses that concept, right? He doesn't like just turn into the Fly. He sort of slowly, his DNA, Seth Brundle, his DNA is slowly changed where he then sort of manifests into a fly, within a human-sized fly within weeks. Right. He has, first it's like a good thing. Hey, he's got super strength or whatever. And then it becomes obviously a curse. This is body horror of a different type. Is what if humans evolved to have a new organ and we had no clue what it was for? And society is just sort of built around this obsession with organs and the evolution, or at least the portion of humanity that we see through this. There's not a lot of world building with Cronenberg. The movie doesn't feel big. It feels kind of, in the sense that they're not showing TVs. He doesn't have like convenient narrators explaining what's going on. You're just presented with this. Viggo Mortensen, who through these machines does self-surgery in a public setting, and he's applauded and revered by everyone. Now, if that's your kind of movie, look, I'll watch 100 David Cronenberg movies about body horror over one Ms. Marvel series. Okay. So I prefer filmmakers that push limits, that are challenging. I mean, even going back to like Men, we talked about Men last week. This kind of tops Men, right? In some sense, in terms of its level of gore. So if you're squeamish, as I can be at times, this is not necessarily the movie for you, but so I recommend with a caution. This is not a film for everybody. Okay. Alan, don't take your daughter.
I'm not even going to take myself to see this movie.
Right. But,
I saw the trailer and I was out at that moment. I'm just not into body horror.
Well, check out the trailer, the Red Band trailer, so you know what you're in for. Mm-hmm. What I admired about it, it's one of those movies also that like I can't stop thinking about. So I saw it yesterday and I was just like really mixed on it. Like, I don't even know what to think of this movie. Yeah. That was and I'm just like thinking about it more. And it's just like they have these really sort of futuristic AI machines that do stuff. You can also control them. You can control aspects of them that do things for you, including help you consume breakfast. And it's just so bizarre. There's like a bureau of organs that you have to, that is a part of this story. I don't want to go much.
I mean, is there a narrative at all in this, or is there a point being made, or
there is by the time you get to by the time you get to the end, that involves this basically humanity evolving to a place of we're just going to be eating things differently is what I'm saying. I don't want to go into detail.
So there's not a story. So it doesn't sound like there's a story at all.
No, there is a story. There's a story with Viggo Mortensen's character, and he's sort of unsure. He's involved with this girl, and they go into this pod where they have sort of a form of sex that involves being surgically altered. There are other surgically altered people. And it's like, okay, you're watching this and going like, this is so bizarre and crazy. But in our world today, in real life, people go through body modifications.
Right.
This is body modification taken to its nth degree, right? So body modifications I mean, there are real body modifications involving piercing, involving altering. People split their tongue to have like a lizard tongue. There are all other types of body modifications. There are people who have put. People in the chat probably know about this stuff. If you're on the internet, you see things like this, like people who add horns to themselves or underneath their skull, or have their head drilled into. I don't want to get too gruesome, but in our current life, in our current world, people body modify in ways that are bizarre. And this is taking it to a completely different level on the cusp of a major evolution in human development that involves the modern world, our modern sort of plastic, our world that's being infested with plastic. So I'm like I say, the warning is this movie is not for everybody. It's gruesome in ways you wouldn't expect. And it also is one of those where you're like, I had to ask myself, like, what the hell is going on now? Like, wait, what? Like, what's the goal of the character? But there's a tone. And it's a good, like, the movie's like, I don't know, maybe an hour 40. It breezes along pretty quickly, but it's a tone. If you like Cronenberg, this is like the ultimate Cronenberg movie because his movies always involve some aspect of body horror in a way. And this is kind of his penultimate. I mean, I would definitely sort of put it, and I don't even know how to rank it necessarily. To me, The Fly is probably because it's the most accessible, my favorite Cronenberg. Then maybe Videodrome, Scanners. But I would put this in the kind of top half of his films. The ones of late, I just feel like he's been budget constrained. And I feel like with this, the film is small enough and intimate and just weird. And I'll take weird over, I've seen this movie 100 times before. So with that, we should go to the chat because we are going to unfortunately have to wrap it up early. I'm going to get out of here in about 20 minutes.
We have a super chat from Turo.
Turo for $5. Thank you for that. Here's $5 of my plastic. Eat it now. Just kidding. Okay. I'm going to go from top to bottom here. Zach says either we get to 100 likes or Alan gets the plunger again. I'll give you the plunger right now if you really want to, do you want, fine.
That's definitely body horror right there.
Speaking of body horror, the Blockbuster guy, I heard people were walking out of the movie. Guess the gore was a lot. Absolutely. Yeah. People were walking out of the movie at Cannes. I saw 2 walkouts at the screening that I was at last night. People walked out, Is this a sequel to Crimes of the Present? Wait, Crimes of the Present. Is that, I don't know.
I think that's a joke. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So play on words. Yeah.
I just searched it up. Jesus Christ. Yeah. History of Violence is one of my all-time favorite films. Existenz is my number 2 Cronenberg. Toxic Waltz and 8. Yes, there you go. Yeah. History of Violence. Yeah. With Viggo Mortensen is just, it's great also that Cronenberg has such a good relationship with Viggo that he convinced him to do this movie. So there you go. The Film Philosopher. Is this a male organ? No. That's all I'm going to say. Nate D, didn't Cronenberg do Naked Lunch? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
He did do Naked Lunch, yes.
Yeah. Film Philosopher. This sounds good. Gore plus Kristen Stewart. True. JC, I need to watch Videodrome again. I hate to say this. I like the classic Cronenberg movies. That's just me. Existenz was bizarre. But that's Shucksy, eating plastic is so hot right now. The Film Philosopher, in the future, in order to feel something, you'll have to watch Live Surgery. It's kind of a comment on that. Like, what I do like, it's like, do you do your world building by just telling the audience what's going on? Or do you do your world building by just putting yourself in the world and not even caring if anyone can keep up? That's what Dune did. Dune doesn't care. You're in the world. You better keep up. Pay attention. Same thing with the original Star Wars. I'm talking about the movie Star Wars. Okay. There's some moments where it's just like the Death Star will be in range in 5 minutes or whatever it is. Like there's little things like that. But this movie doesn't do that. It just puts you in the world. The Blockbuster guy, Existenz was so underrated. Well, there you go. Ben Workman, completely off topic. I'm watching Toby Hooper's Life Force, incredible 4K transfer from Shout Factory. I loved Cronenberg in Nightbreed. Yeah, as the serial killer. That was awesome. Love all the film thread content. Hello, Chris and Alan. Well, thank you, Ben. Shout Factory, by the way, just a shout out to Shout Factory. They have been doing, them and Arrow Video have been doing like, just God's work by bringing back like certain things, like taking classics and re-releasing them with new special features. Arrow Video has a channel, like a streaming service, and there's just amazing stuff that they're bringing back. So great. Machine design looks very H.R. Giger, says Joe Wallflower. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very Giger influenced. These machines that are these sort of surgery machines that are in the movie. Film philosopher, you know what Ms. Marvel is missing? Body horror.
Kind of is. I mean,
Bethel Games, is this a play on our society obsessed with body changes? I do believe it is. It's a comment on that. It's a comment on how we're so obsessed. And this is sort of like, well, how much further can this go? And it's like, okay, it's going to go this far. And yeah, it's I guarantee people are going to be walking out of the film. Adam Iglesias, hey Chris, ever heard of Midsummer? I absolutely have. It's a psychological folk horror, very artsy yet very simple. Yes, I love Midsummer. It's freaking dark and scary, very Wicker Man like. There you go. Clean up, go out and enjoy nature. Skip things that disgust. I would say your mileage may vary, and I say you kind of got to know yourself. I'm really not into gore, but I like something that if there is sort of like very gory horror, but there's subtext to it, there's more to it, there's more going on, that I like. So
I mean, you have to appreciate a film that wants to cater to a specific audience.
Yeah.
And doesn't need to, yeah.
And I do enjoy nature. There's some great videos on YouTube where you can put on of like, where you watch like a streaming brook or no, forget it. Toxic Waltz N8. I will never watch the Human Centipede films. Yeah, I've seen them. I don't want to say anything. The film philosophy, the Human Centipede films are fun. Just don't watch them like I did while eating dinner. Hell no. Yes. And how about Tusk? Yes. Internet Rec Room. Yes, that is. Whew. That is Tusk. Another one in that category. Patrick Lemire, how far can it go? Hormone blockers for kids? The movie doesn't directly comment on that, but you could read a lot into what's happening in this Cronenberg movie. You could read a lot into it, and that's what I like. I like a movie that is commenting on something in general. And there you go. We're going to talk about Top Gun 2 in a minute. Flaccid Phoenix says, Chris is anti-Gore. There you go. Existenz, isn't that what allows men to give 3 thumbs up, says Melodic Method.
Yes, it does.
Turo, $5, another super chat. Oh, wait, we got to that one. Jeff Brooks, $4.99. My aspect ratio comment was saying, why aren't they filming the shows in 16:9, fitting the screen? Oh, are they not? Is it not 16:9? I don't know. I watch it. Unfortunately, I had to I cast it to my computer, and it was like from my computer to my TV. It wasn't all, and then my email was like in the middle of it, really large, which was annoying. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know why they're not doing that. They should be doing it 16:9.
Yeah.
There you go. But
well,
let's talk about
could be Disney debut that's throwing things off.
I want to do a deeper dive into Top Gun. But let's talk about Top Gun until I have to leave, about another 15 minutes here. But let's talk about Top Gun. Alan, you saw it. I loved it.
I saw it. Some annoying guy kept walking out and going to the bathroom.
Well, yes, that was me. I was there. But, okay, Top Gun Tuesday was yesterday. You were able to get into an early screening of Top Gun Maverick. Alan, now that people have seen it, what are your thoughts?
I'm debating on it, but I think this is about as perfect a sequel as you can get. They right from the start, they just give you. I'll just say, if you like the first movie, the first Top Gun, you're gonna absolutely love this movie, and it just brings back all the feels right from the beginning. And I think what makes this so much better is it's all practical. I mean, Tom Cruise is flying a jet. He's, everything is real except that there is some minor CG in it, but it really is tangential to the action that's going on. So, I just love seeing real things on a screen for once. And, and in terms of story and dialogue, yeah, it's pretty much what the original was. The story is, it's got dialogue, and then Goose's son is in it. And so I think you could guess the relationship between Goose's son and Maverick here, and it plays out exactly that way. But that said, this is a fun ride. It's a roller coaster. It's every cliche you want to throw out about an action movie. It's all there.
Well, I loved it. It's the best sequel to a film that has been like more than 30 years.
Yeah.
Which is actually a thing. Think about it. Like, how many sequels where it's been like decades later and then they make a sequel to it, kind of like a little too late. It's the best. It's also like, what I love about Top Gun Maverick is, one, we can talk about the mission. It's the Death Star trench. It's that's what it is. It's effectively, you've got to hit the target and you've got to hit it multiple times and you can't screw it up. And you've got to like go through a windy valley to be below the radar of the missiles. And that aspect, I loved. All of the stuff with the jets is just insane.
Yeah. And he has to turn off his guidance system in order to hit the time there. Right.
I mean, it's just like the dogfights are insanely intense. I mean, there are times where just like I had to stop and go, my face hurts from smiling. That's how good it was. It's also feels like this movie was originally supposed to be released in 2020. So it must have been shot or made somewhere 2018, 2019. It feels like it was made in a bubble before Hollywood got like super, lectury. And none of that is a part of this. It's like this movie was made in a bubble to just be a popcorn movie. And it is an absolute popcorn fun fest, like right from the beginning. It's just intense. And it pays everything off. There's not a wasted minute. There's callbacks to the original Top Gun, a bunch of shirtless dudes on the beach in a somewhat, some might say homoerotic scene where they're playing sports. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, even for myself, I used to years ago go and play basketball on weekends with my friends. And to be clear, I was never good at basketball, like at all. Okay. It was incredibly embarrassing because none of us, it was just sort of a miracle that one of us could actually hit the basket, but we were just doing it to just like, because we just wanted to do it. Like, it's something we can do. And then we'll go out and we'll drink after, we'll grab some beers and we would take our shirts off. It wasn't pretty. That's all I want to say. But there's callbacks to that. There's, and the other thing I do like about it as well, this isn't always true. You didn't have to know the original to enjoy this. You could literally just go see Top Gun Maverick. So, and I'm actually seeing it again because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I want to see that movie again. It's the kind of movie that Hollywood can't seem to make anymore. And the other thing that convinced me of that, Tom Cruise is to me, Tom Cruise is one of our last movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't go off on social media about things where you just go, I didn't know Tom Cruise was like that. The only kind of issue he kind of championed was soap opera effect. There's a video that Tom Cruise put out about the soap opera effect on TVs as like, please don't do that. You ever walk into a Costco and you're watching like Return of the Jedi is on the TVs and you're like, excuse me. I don't know why I'm sneezing there. And you see it just looks weird because it looks like it's a soap opera. It looks like it was shot on video.
Yeah.
He did a video like saying, stop doing that. It makes these movies look bad. He really is a fan of the cinematic experience.
He has a cause and it's all for filmmaking and the theater going experience.
Right. So in any case, I love like the Tom Cruise, you really feel it too, just his charm in it. They don't do anything to belittle his character. What is it? Pete Mitchell, right? Like there's nothing where they kind of like, oh, he's schooled by the even better female cadet, which is something that you just sort of like groan or roll your eyes when you see in a movie, which is often you'll see something like that in a movie, and there's nothing like that in the film. It's just, it's just pure fun. And it, I don't know, it's like, it just makes me want to see it again. And I haven't felt that way about a movie in a long time. RRR is a movie I felt that way, The Northman, and this. I would say that that's sort of shaping up to be, my at least on my favorite movies of the year. I'm not going to say top 10, but favorite movies of the year so far are RRR, which is actually on Netflix now, so you can finally see it, or go on June 1st with me. I'll be seeing it at the Lemley in Pasadena on Colorado Boulevard. Join me there. We'll go out for drinks after. It'll be fun. And then we'll probably go to the Yard House. There's a Yard House close to across the street. I'll remind you. But it's a popcorn movie, and it's a blast. And what's amazing is I didn't ever feel that the movie was too digital. That's the other thing, right? It really did a good job of explaining to you like what the mission was through computer graphics that, okay, I'll give it, the computer graphics were a little bit much, but at least tells you the geography and what their goal is, what they're trying to accomplish, right? And the effects in the actual film, the dog fights, the jets, never felt digital. Never felt digital to me. So I don't know, man. One of my favorite movies this year. Recommend seeing it in an IMAX screen, or at the very least a Dolby Digital screen. I can't rave about it enough.
I'm taking my daughter to see it in 4DX. I think that would be great for that to see it in.
That's a movie to see 4DX. If you've not experienced a movie in 4DX, jump on that train. You're gonna love it.
I think this is the perfect movie for 4DX.
It is. I've seen. God, what did I see? I saw
Ant-Man.
I saw Godzilla, King of the Monsters. We saw Ant-Man. I think I was there with you.
Yeah.
We saw Ant-Man in 4DX. I mean, it is the chairs vibrate. They kind of like shake. You'll get sprayed on a little mist of water. What else do they do? It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's air effects. I think there'll be a lot of air effects in this one. You
get blown, meaning they're blowing air. Don't get too excited. But you can also adjust the level effects of the little 4DX effects. You can also turn off the water if you don't want to get sprayed. But hey, we've gone an hour and 25 minutes. We have to wrap it up. And I'm really sorry we do. Alan, you could keep going and go into all the chats. Let's go real quick.
Yeah, let's just run through it.
We can get through. Shucksy, Chris's bladder is Alan's one weakness. Yeah, my bladder is Adam Iglesias. It hurts that he gets honored like this and not Luke Skywalker, but good for them. Yeah. Goober, Chris feels the need to pee. That's a good one. I'll take it. Ben,
that needs to be a shirt.
What are your favorite horror movies before you leave? I can't go through all of them. I'll give you two. John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982, and the 1968 version of Night of the Living Dead by George Romero. In fact, I wrote an essay about it in a book called My Favorite Horror Movies of All Time. I wrote a chapter of that book, and I wrote all about Night of the Living Dead, and it's the best chapter of that book.
I will say Full Moon Features has a new podcast. Charles Band interviews John Carpenter, and Charles Band gave John Carpenter his first job in movies, and under a different name. It's John T. Chance.
Oh, that's funny.
John Carpenter.
Yeah. Jose Contras Raz. I saw it in IMAX, packed theater with lots of military veterans. I had so much fun. Gantz :0 says, I want to see Chris shirtless. No, you don't. No, you don't. The Film Philosopher, they channeled the 80s. They did. They really did kind of channel the 80s. At least, I mean, it's not in the 80s. It's set present day, but they channeled like that 80s positivity. Positivity is what's missing, not just at the movies. Positivity. Everyone's like, oh, it's dark. It's really dark. Oh, nihilism. No, we don't want that. Star Wars, the original Star Wars in 1977, came out at a time when the world was dark and we needed some positivity. And I feel that this movie is going to be successful, not just first weekend, second weekend too, because positivity is what's really lacking, not just in the movies, but in our current society, when you're telling kids they have no future, whether it's a financial future or whether it's the future of the planet, that's a dark place, and we need to stop doing that. I think to kids, stop painting a picture of our future as this dark thing. We're going to be faced with challenges, as every generation is, and we're going to overcome it. And things are going to be great.
Speaking of the 80s, Jennifer Connelly. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Ferd Turgeson, total Death Star. Ferd Turgeson goes on to say, it's more of an ace combat movie than Top Gun to be real. Their mission was kind of impossible. I really thought they were going to say that at one point. Yeah. Goober, is Iceman's son called Seaman? No, but good one. It's called Bromance now, Chris, says RMFX. Toxic Waltz on 8. I rarely enjoy a film with my friends, Dr. Pepper and a popcorn. Well, first of all, I'm a Dr. Pepper person. I love Dr. Pepper, but I may have to give in for Top Gun. You absolutely have to. Go with a group of friends. Patrick Lemire, Iceman call sign came from an actual pilot, Denise Tech. Denise was in Australian punk rock band Radio Birdman. Quit band, went to medical school, joined Air Force to become a Top Gun. What a life. Wow. I'd like to see a documentary on that. I'm talking RRR tonight in 40 minutes on my channel with some very special guests. Zax has a channel. Go to Zax's channel after this stream ends and join the chat there for some talk about RRR. And we have a last super chat here. We'll wrap it up. Silverlock for $4.99. Thank you. Loved your award show. Watched Tango Shalom, and it was so positive. Made me feel good. You're right. It's a feel-good movie. It's and Rob Burnett was a producer and editor on the film. Check out Rob Burnett's channel, Robservations. If he still is it called Robservations? I think he changed the name.
Yeah, he did. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, he did change it.
He did change the name, but what are you going to do? But Silverlock, so happy. I hope you discover some other ones. I would recommend Donnie's Bar Mitzvah. If you're looking for a very politically incorrect comedy, Donnie's Bar Mitzvah, strongly recommend. Thank you for that. And Toxic Waltz N8, oh, Mr. Pibb is superior. I'm a Mr. Pibb guy too. I'm like, I don't know. Pibb, Dr. Pepper, that's where I go. And Ferd Turgeson says Jennifer Connelly is my number one crush. She looks so hot in this, and she hasn't done like a lot of actresses. They reach a certain age, they lean into doing the surgery. You don't need it. Age naturally. Keep yourself in shape and do your best. I'm doing my best, but I will say, I don't like the way I looked on our award show. But Alan, where can people find you on social media?
My pal Al on Twitter and Film Thread Alan on Instagram.
And I am that Chris Gore. If you want to look up my personal account, follow me on Twitter. If you're looking for a 4-day badge to Star Wars Celebration, I've got one. And follow Film Threat. We're Film Threat on everything. I thank you for taking the time to hang out with us on a Wednesday night. We'll go longer next week. Lots to talk about. We'll get into Top Gun on Friday and a couple of other new films that we've seen. And I'm looking forward to Friday. We've got a very special guest on Friday. It's going to be a good time. And I also want to do a shout out to Flaccid Phoenix. He's modding, he's producing, he's helping us grow the channel, and we appreciate that. Flaccid Phoenix, he's in the chat. Look up his channel, give him a subscribe, and check out his content. Some really great video essays that you'll want to check out. And I don't know, what do we normally say at the end of the show?
Let's get out of here.